This decision was never meant to cut corners. It wasn't reckless, and it certainly wasn't illegal. In fact, at the time, it was considered responsible. The goal was simple: save time, keep up with competition, and avoid a much more expensive problem. On paper, it worked. It saved millions of dollars. What it destroyed came later. In highly competitive industries, time isn't just money. Time is leverage. It determines who ships first, who captures the market, and who gets left behind. Every new product brings new training requirements, new procedures, new certifications. Each one slows things down, and each one adds cost. So when pressure increases, the most attractive solution is rarely innovation. It's continuity, keeping things familiar, changing as little as possible while still moving forward. That was the environment this decision was made in. Market. Suddenly, speed wasn't optional anymore. Delays weren't inconvenient, they were dangerous. Designing something entirely new would take years, and years meant falling behind. So the real question wasn't whether change was necessary. It was how much change could happen without anyone really noticing. The decision itself seemed modest. Instead of redesigning everything, the existing system would be extended. Not replaced, not rebuilt, just adjusted. The logic was clear. If things looked familiar, training could stay minimal. If training stayed minimal, certification would be faster. And if certification stayed fast, the product could reach the market on time. From a business perspective, this made perfect sense. From a regulatory perspective, it also made sense, at least initially. Early results were encouraging. Costs stayed under control. Timelines held. Internally, the decision was quietly labeled a success. There were no public concerns, no visible red flags, and no immediate failures. Just progress. But beneath that progress was an assumption that no one stopped to question. The entire system depended on automation behaving in a very specific way. It was supposed to assist, not override. Support, not take control. The belief was that human operators would always understand what the system was doing. That familiarity would prevent confusion, that nothing important had really changed. But familiarity can be deceptive. When something looks the same, people assume it behaves the same, even when it doesn't. The first signs of trouble weren't dramatic. There were no explosions, no alarms, no clear moments of panic. There was confusion. A system reacted in a way an operator didn't expect. Information appeared too late, or not clearly enough. What was meant to assist began acting independently. The system moved faster than the human trying to understand it. By the time anyone realized what was happening, there was no time left to intervene. What followed wasn't just a technical failure. It was a collapse of trust. Entire fleets were grounded. Investigations began. Processes were re-examined. The cost was no longer measured in savings or efficiency. It was measured in credibility. What once saved millions ended up costing far more. This wasn't a small company, and it wasn't a minor product. This decision shaped the future of a major aircraft, the Boeing 737 MAX, a plane designed to compete faster, avoid extensive retraining, and minimize disruption. Instead, it exposed how dangerous small changes can be when systems grow too complex to fully explain. The decision didn't fail because people didn't care. Prioritized over clarity. Because reducing friction felt like progress. But friction exists for a reason. It slows decisions, it forces questions, and sometimes it prevents disasters. Looking back, the decision still makes sense on paper. And that's what makes it uncomfortable. Because the most dangerous decisions aren't the reckless ones. They're the ones that look efficient.